I've been fighting my whole life.
Joseph Anthony Kennedy.
I was a hellion of a kid who nobody wanted.
1, 2, 3, 4,
So if you told me that saying a prayer on the 50-yard line was the thing that was going to get me in the biggest fight of my life, you cannot tell me that God doesn't have a sense of humor.
Welcome back to Good Day. So he was the average Joe who got into trouble for doing what he thought was right, but who knew doing the right thing would put him in the biggest battle of his life? With us this morning is the average Joe, Coach Joe Kennedy, along with actor Eric Close, who plays him in the movie in theaters October 11th. So good morning to you two. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, so first, Eric, let's start with you. Can you tell us just a little bit about your newest film, Average Joe?
Yeah, it's inspired on this guy's life story and his book, his memoir. But it's not just the court case; it's about his entire life. And this guy's had quite the journey. It's an inspiring story. It's a story of redemption, courage, hope, faith, and perseverance. And I was really honored to get a chance to play him in this movie.
Yeah, I love that. So, Coach, for our viewers out there who are not familiar with your story, can you just let us know exactly what took place?
Yeah, so I started coaching for 8 years, and after every game I prayed just a thanks to God after every game. And after 8 years of doing that, they said you can't do it anymore, and I just couldn't understand that. And they ended up firing me for it, and as an American, I had to stand up for the constitutional rights of all Americans. So I took it to court, and it ended up taking another 8 years just to get me back on the football field.
Yeah, so you summarized that so nice for us, but this was a long process, like you said. It took multiple years with this fight. So how does it feel to have a film made about your life?
Yeah, that is really weird. I was talking to Eric when I met him. I was like, this guy's a really Hollywood guy, and this is really happening. So it's beyond belief. I like to let everything go right over my head, and I just keep my head low and pretend like this isn't really happening, but now it is.
Yeah, I love that. So, Eric, for you, what made you want to be a part of telling Coach Kennedy's story?
Well, one of the things is just the fact that he stood up and did what was right in the face of adversity, and it's not always easy to do that. You know, when you take a stand, and I was so inspired by his story and just knowing where he came from and what he endured as a kid and all the challenges he faced, and then the fact that he just stepped up and he just put his head down and didn't waver. And I know there were times where there was doubt, you know, and like, should we stay the course? But he and Denise stayed the course, and that was really inspiring to me. And I was, like I said, I really wanted to play this role. And I think it's going to be a real encouragement to everyone who goes to see this film.
Yeah, so Coach, just seeing the trailer here, seeing you kneeling there. So how long were you a coach for this particular high school for the football team?
I was an assistant coach for the varsity, but the head coach for the junior varsity, and I was in my 8th season.
Oh, wow.
So for 8 years this was going on.
Oh, wow. So how was it, you know, after all of this and then your initial reaction of being fired from the school?
Yeah, I had a lot of emotions. There was the whole denial of it. I went through anger. I really could not believe this was really happening here in America today, that somebody would be fired for exercising their faith. And I'm a hardcore American, and I want to stand up for all Americans, and nobody should have to choose between their job and their faith.
Yeah, and I know you guys are hoping that people walk away with being inspired, having a little hope and perseverance as well. So where can audience find out a little bit more about this film and purchase tickets to Average Joe?
You can go to averagejoemovie.com, and you can get your tickets in advance for the opening weekend. It's going to be nationwide, October 11th, 12th, and 13th. And opening weekend's huge for a movie, so you know we get people in there, and hopefully the movie stays in the theaters for a long time. And you take your family and friends, and you will be really inspired. It's a great story.
Awesome. Well, Coach Kennedy, Eric, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And stay with us. We'll have more Good Day in just a moment.